Why does retirement, especially early retirement, change the way we connect with people, even when we don't expect it to? So today I want to share the 5 biggest reasons that your social circle changes in retirement, why these changes could be dangerous, and what to do when this happens. Here's why it's dangerous. Research shows that 43% of older Americans say that they feel lonely. Studies show that loneliness triples the risk of dementia and raises the risk of heart disease as much as obesity or smoking. That's why social connection after retirement isn't just nice to have, it's life-saving. On my daily walks, I rarely see many people, just the occasional retiree or mom pushing a stroller. It made me realize how easy it is for connection to fade once you stop working. Studies back this up. People fear retirement, not just for the money, but for the loss of social connection. An 85-year Harvard study found that the biggest challenge after retiring isn't missing the job, it's missing the people. Staying connected isn't just nice to have, it's the work now. The first reason your social circle changes after you retire is that your built-in daily connections disappear. At work, you spent 40 hours a week surrounded by people. Some you liked, some you didn't, but you interacted constantly. When work goes away, so does that steady stream of conversation, as well as the shared experience that came along with it. You didn't realize how much of your social life existed because of work until work is gone. For me, I still have a couple of old work group chats. I'll send a meme or a great song every now and then, like I did this morning. And sometimes I won't hear back for days, because everyone's busy. And that's when it really hits you, how much of that connection was tied to a shared work rhythm. Work friendships are like a current. When you step out of the river, the flow keeps moving on without you. And so losing work means losing the automatic connections that came with it. The second reason your social circle changes after retirement is that many of those relationships were situational, not personal. Once you lose the job, you lose the reasons to talk every day. Some people stay in touch, but most of them fade. Not because they don't care, but because their daily lives just keep moving. They're working and you're retired, so your worlds don't naturally overlap anymore. After I retired, I was surprised at how quickly the communication fell off a cliff. Not in a bad way, it's just natural. It made me realize that work creates proximity, not necessarily friendship. It's like graduating from school. You promise to stay in touch, but once the shared schedule is gone, it's hard to keep up. Most of our friends at work are really more like co-travelers. Once the journey ends, so does the conversation. The third reason your social circle changes after retirement is that adult life leaves very little extra bandwidth. During your working years, you were juggling career goals, family, errands, and that endless list of invisible responsibilities that come with being an adult. Even if you wanted deeper friendships, time was scarce. So when retirement comes, you might realize your circle of friends wasn't as strong as you thought. It was always just there in the background. For me, it took stepping back to realize how much of my energy went into work and running a household, not maintaining my friendships. There just wasn't much left to give. Friendships are like plants, however. If you stop watering them, they'll wilt and eventually die. And sometimes when you finally come back to water them, it's too late to bring them back to life. Retirement doesn't just reveal who your friends are. It reveals who you had time for. The fourth reason your social circle changes after retirement is that you start to outgrow your old conversations. When you've spent years planning for financial independence or pursuing something outside of the norm like retiring early, you slowly drift from the topics that once connected you. You're thinking about freedom, financial independence, new ways to spend your time, while the people around you are primarily talking about work deadlines, promotion, and their everyday lives. I'm not saying the differences are bad, it's just that your realities are very different. At least that was true for me. I was building my real estate business on the side, taking courses, and learning about money and investing. And that's what I wanted to talk about. So I just had less in common with the people that I was used to talking to every day. Building financial independence is like taking a side road when everyone else is on the highway. The scenery changes and soon you're not driving beside them anymore. Sometimes your world expands and it simply stops fitting inside your old one. The fifth reason your social circle changes after retirement is that connection doesn't happen automatically anymore. Once you retire, your social circle doesn't just shrink, it resets. You have to find people to connect with who live life the way that you do now. That is, people who aren't rushing from meeting to meeting, who actually have time to talk and make plans with you. And that's why so many retirees naturally start to find one another in this phase of life. For me, that shift is still happening. I'm still working to find friends that I have things in common with. I know a couple of investors local to me who are also retired, and we hang out sometimes, we even partner on deals. But honestly, those type of people are really hard to find in person. So I've actually found community here online, through this channel and through the Grounded Life YouTube After 40 course and community. I've met so many like-minded people who support one another. They share advice and understand what this transition feels like. It's a different kind of friendship, but it's still real. And it's reminded me that social connection doesn't have to look the same as it did in the past to still be meaningful. It's like finding a new language and the people who already speak it. Sometimes the people who understand you most are the ones that are in the same phase of life as you are, not the ones who are physically closest to you. The truth is, retirement, especially early retirement, doesn't just change how you spend your time. It changes who you share it with. And that's okay. The people who are meant for you in this chapter will find you. Sometimes online, sometimes in person, sometimes right here in this community. So if you felt this shift too, tell me in the comments. The research is clear. The happiest retirees treat connection like exercise. You have to do it on purpose. It's something that I'm learning to do too. Studies say that it takes about 2 years to rebuild your social rhythm after leaving work, and I can definitely see that because I'm still finding my own. It's not about how many people you know, it's how often you see the same few. And I'm working on making that part more intentional. Volunteering and group hobbies are the fastest ways to replace daily social contact. That's the part I'm taking on next, building connection on purpose. Please like this video and subscribe to support this channel. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.